Look, let me get right to it. Let me say good afternoon. Today is Giving Tuesday, and we are going to illustrate that in two significant categories today as we talk about the City of Houston's ongoing COVID-19 response. Now, the major portion of one of the major things that I want to highlight today deal with our rental assistance initiative. Tomorrow, Houston City Council will vote on a $15 million rental assistance program to provide Houston's low to moderate income residents rental assistance in the wake of the COVID-19 economic fallout. We know that people have lost jobs, businesses have shut down, and a lot of families are struggling while also trying to survive the public health crisis. We heard and we are hearing from many of them today, as each one of the council members can attest. The need is great within our city, and we want to do our part to assist as many families as we can. And tomorrow, this measure will be before city council members, and I'm hopeful that it will pass tomorrow and we can provide assistance to thousands of families within our city. More than 2.1 million Texans have filed for unemployment since COVID-19 began its spread, and for many Houstonians, that means they cannot pay their rent. This program will include individuals and families who are at risk of evictions. The amount of funding will allow the city and Baker Ripley to help up to as anywhere from 7,000 Houstonians to as many as 13,000. The City of Houston's rental assistance program in partnership with Baker Ripley and I cannot thank this organization again for stepping up. They've done it time and time again, and they're stepping up to assist us this time as well. And so, as you can imagine, there is a tremendous need. And so at this point, let me yield to Claudia Gary, who is with Baker Ripley. Claudia.
Is this able to, I can get on my tippy toes. So thank you, Mayor. So, we have a saying at Baker Ripley, what gets led gets done. Thank you for your leadership. You and I and so many have been at the forefront since this pandemic hit, and we have been seeing the crippling effect that this pandemic has had on our citizens and our neighbors. We have been, unfortunately, part of every disaster since our beginning of 1907 in this region. And every disaster has come at a very inopportune time, and this is no different. Every week right now, Baker Ripley's been serving 28,000 people every week with our seniors, our food distributions, with partners, with our community centers. And just as I was listening to all of the citizens at the public session, it's no different than what I'm hearing out in the communities. But every person who was at public session and talked, and every comment from the council members and the mayor, it's the same thing. We are definitely in need. And that is what Baker Ripley is prepared to do, is to start the recovery now. Our infrastructure, our systems, our expertise will allow us to get this rental assistance program underway. I know it's been mentioned before, but I just want to briefly talk about that this program, Baker Ripley will be providing the direct payments to the enrolled landlords. The assistance will pay and offset the tenant's rent for months of April and May. And so once the city approves, we will launch the rental assistance program website, and then we will operate it into two stages. The first stage, the landlords will enroll in all of their properties on the website. And once that is done, there will be several elements that the landlord will need to agree to. And then the tenants will then be able to apply. So while there are a lot of moving pieces, I assure the region, the council members, the mayor, the administration, and the 600,000 people we serve every year, we are prepared, as we have after every disaster, to effectively and efficiently get these resources out to the people that need it most. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you so very much. And let me just say, I do want to thank Claudia Guerra Vasquez, and what I did not mention, of course, you know, she's president and CEO of Baker Ripley, and so I want to thank her for her support. And Baker Ripley and the Houston Apartment Association, this program will be funded by the Coronavirus Relief Fund, part of the Coronavirus Aid, Relief, and Economic Security Act, the CARES Act. And so working with them, and I too want to acknowledge the Houston Apartment Association for their work and what they have done and their support and assistance. A number of the apartment owners had already committed not to evict anyone. In fact, they've gone even further in providing assistance to many people who have lost their jobs or lost income. So let me also now this time bring on Clay Hicks, president of the Houston Apartment Association. Clay. That's Clay.
Thanks, Mayor. Thanks, Claudia. Good afternoon. My name is Clay Hicks. I'm president of TDC Management and the Knittersing Companies, as well as the 2020 president of the Houston Apartment Association. And on behalf of our members, our staff, and the many residents across the city, I want to thank Mayor Turner for his leadership in creating this vital program for our city. There's over 1 million people living in apartments in our city, many who've lost their jobs and had a hard time paying rent. So this program will go so far to help them catch up and pay the last 2 months of rent. Additionally, it'll help our landlords as they continue to try to run their properties through this time, to pay their employees, including the maintenance workers who become so vital right now, including paying taxes, which go to support our school teachers, our policemen, and our firefighters. So I'm privileged to be up here today, and I thank you for letting me be a part of Giving Tuesday. Hope this is a tradition, so thank you again.
Thank you. And I do want to give special acknowledgement to all of the council members, because I know this has been a top priority for the council members from day one. And so to Jerry Davis, Councilmember Jerry Davis, Sally Alcorn, been instrumental in pushing this program. All of the council members, so let me thank you. And while this program, and Carla Cisneros from District 8 snuck in on me. And while this program is new because of COVID-19, in addition to the $15 million coming from the Coronavirus Relief Fund, the Coronavirus Aid Relief, in addition to the $15 million rental assistance program, the City Council will also vote on an $8 million $8 million in HUD funds for rental assistance, and the city already is currently expending $12 million in rental assistance, but we're going to add to that the $8 million, assuming Council votes tomorrow, on this program. And so while there are many challenges we face together because of the pandemic, the city is always still with people in their greatest time of need. And I want to acknowledge and thank Tom McCasland, the Director of Housing and Community Development, on this. So Tom, if you will come up. And you can speak to the additional $8 million.
Thank you, Mayor. It's good to be here. And thank you, Claudia, for the overview of the $15 million as it relates to the $8 million and the other funds that are out there, working with 10 different nonprofit agencies throughout the city. We know that over the next 6 months, there will need to be successive programs as we help Houstonians weather the upcoming economic crisis and make sure that they can remain safely in their homes. As it relates to these funds, we're still working with the mayor's office to build the program, but we do want to make sure that no one is forced out into homelessness as a result, and if they are, that we have a robust homeless system that can catch them and help them get back into permanent housing. That's our commitment at the city as we continue to move forward with these plans. The $8 million tomorrow, the vote is just to move it from multifamily development to the rental assistance so that families in need today can begin getting assistance today as well. Thank you, Mayor.
And with these $23 million, the hope is to try to prevent families from falling into a state of homelessness and finding themselves on the streets, and that's the goal, to provide some sense of security. Now, let me just say something else before I stop and open it up, and that is, as you know, the Texas Supreme Court has halted eviction proceedings until May 18th. And so let me just say, I hope that there will not be evictions that are taking place right now. People are not being forced out of their homes. My hope is that we can all work together to get through these times. And that our tenants, for example, will not be getting notices that will just add stress to their lives and cause further disruption for them and for their families. So please, let's all work together as we go through these times. These are difficult times for everyone, whether you're a homeowner or a business owner. We're all in this together, and if we work together, we can come out of it much, much sooner. And then that's the announcement for today. Tomorrow at 3 o'clock, we'll make another announcement as it relates to our high school graduates in the city of Houston. And then on Thursday at 3 o'clock, there'll be a major announcement in reference to the expanding of our testing programs and contact tracing in the city of Houston. Having said that, I'll pause and take, we can take, Chief Fenner from HPD.
Thank you, Mayor. I'll give a quick update from HPD, but if I may, I just want to say a quick thanks to our community. It's been a tough week in HPD, and everybody knows that, but we get a strong sense of support and security from a great, great public that supports us all the time. Just want to report that Officer Chase Cormier is getting stronger every day, and his family is asking for continued prayers. And I also ask that you continue to pray for the Knox family. So a quick COVID update. We tested a total of 194 employees, 43 came back positive. Of those, 41 is in quarantine. The good news is 35 of them are reported back to work. So again, thanks for all the prayers, and we're standing strong in HPD because of our great community. Thank y'all.
And Assistant Chief Rodney West from the Fire Department.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Mayor. Just a quick say about Houston Strong. It's not just a cliche. We see that it's a community every day when we see gifts like we received and the efforts of Ripley House and all of the community leaders, from the strong governmental leadership to the athletes that are contributing. We are truly Houston Strong. As far as the COVID update from HFD, we have a total of 41 members that have tested positive. Of those, 32 have returned to work. We have 49 members that are in quarantine, and 5 members that are being housed by the city of Houston.
Thanks, Chief. And then lastly, there will be a total of 4 individuals or groups that are donating additional supplies to the city of Houston to our Health Equity Response Team Task Force. 20,000 surgical masks from Siwa International, an international Hindu faith-based humanitarian nonprofit based in Houston. Why don't you come and stand right in? Hey, thanks. They're donating, again, 20,000 surgical masks from Siwa International. And then for the Office of Emergency Management, there will be 2,000 N95 masks from Siwa International, 2,000 N95 from the Small Independent Motor Association, SEMA, 50,000 rubber gloves from SEMA. And I want to thank the Hindu charity group SEWA for their generous contribution of these 20,000 surgical masks. These masks will be used by our Health Equity Response Task Force and distributed to vulnerable communities throughout the city of Houston. I also want to thank the Small Independent Motel Association and my good friend Hasu Patel, that's him right here, for their continued support and donation of the 2,000 N95 masks and the 50,000 rubber gloves. It is these kind of donations from our community that in turn help protect our community, and I'm very thankful for all of their help and their support. This is what makes Houston the great city that it is, highly resilient and highly sustainable. So thank you all so very, very much. Appreciate you. Thanks, sister. Thank you all.